Hello, welcome back to my website. There's my dog. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about attachment styles. So I think when you become a parent, you worry about a lot of different things. And for me, I don't know why, just attachment and stuff was something that I was nervous about when I had my son. And I'm like, what if he doesn't attach to me? What if he doesn't like me? What if he, all these different things. And so today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some attachment styles and maybe some tips on how to build a secure attachment and maybe ways you can continue to have emotional connection with your kids/family members. So to begin, I want to talk about, I'm going to go through, there's 4 different attachment styles that I'm going to cover. And I'm going to go through the different attachment styles and kind of what is like the internal working model, or like what is kind of these kids are internally feeling with each attachment style. So I want to first talk about a secure attachment. So this kind of looks like, a child can trust and they can rely on others. Basically, when you're born, the first, Erik Erikson talked about the different models, the different stages of development that you go through. And the first one is trust versus mistrust. And you learn if you can trust the people around you, if you can trust the world around you. And so with the secure attachment, you trust others and you feel like you can rely on them. Therefore, you feel like the world is a good place. You can trust it. Also, in a secure attachment, you feel like I'm lovable. I'm a capable person. I am able to do things for myself. I'm significant and worthwhile. That's kind of the beginning stages of your self-esteem, honestly. And another thing that I talked about a little bit is with that trust, you feel that the world is safe around you for the most, like when you're a kid, Later you learn that sometimes the world is not as fabulous, but the second one, obviously we're going for secure attachment. The other 3 are not so appealing. Just a plug, if you feel like your child or you maybe had some of these not so secure attachments, you can actually go through therapy and stuff and change that. So, throwing that out there. Second one I want to talk about is the anxious avoidant attachment. This is when you feel like other people are unavailable or they're rejecting, and that way that kind of leads you to feel like you need to be in charge of protecting yourself all the time. You can't really rely on others. You kind of deny your own needs, and you feel like, you'll be rejected if you acknowledge what you need. Also, you kind of feel like, too, you have to meet certain expectations in order to feel loved and cared for. And so that kind of is, you feel like you need to take care of everybody else besides yourself in order to feel loved. So that's kind of the anxious avoidant attachment style. There's another one. It's an anxious ambivalent resistant attachment. And this is actually where you're kind of in the middle ground. So you have the secure and then you have the anxious. And you're kind of in the middle where sometimes you feel loved. It's kind of unpredictable. Sometimes you feel loved, sometimes you feel rejected. And so it's kind of that you don't really know where to fit in. And you feel really anxious and angry and all sorts of weird, kids that feel this, they feel like they can't explore, or they can't really do, kind of venture out because they feel like maybe they're going to miss an opportunity for love and affection because it's so not predictable. Also, this is another way to to know about the anxious ambivalent attachment style is kids will, learn to read others in order to get attention and get their needs met. So, for example, a child knew that everyone smiled and laughed when he smiled or giggled, and that was it. And so when he needed things, he would laugh and he would giggle, just so he can get attention. And anyway, he would just learn that was the only way he could get attention in this relationship. That was a little bit of a sign of the anxious ambivalent. It's not very consistent. Anyway, you learn to read others and get what you need that way. The fourth one is disorganized. This is kind of like all over the place. Abuse kind of is along within this attachment style. Neglectful, they feel like their world is disorganized. They don't know what to count on. I'm unable to get my needs met, and also I don't know how to protect myself. Oftentimes your caregiver is overwhelmed and angry or hostile towards you, and so that's why you feel disorganized and not important. Anyway, I wanted to kind of go over those attachment styles because I feel like it is important to understand the different attachment styles, what you don't want, what you do want. And so right now I kind of want to focus on how can we build a secure attachment with our kids. The first one I want to talk about is being dependable. Your children need a safe place and you are that safe place. So this is like being attentive and understanding their cues when they're sick, when they're hurt, when they're crying, or they need something in the early, first year of their life. They need physical, you need to be there physically when they need things. Security, comfort, but be dependable about it. Don't be like, sometimes you are there for them, other times you're angry with them when they need something. Also, another thing to help build secure attachment is actually being predictable. Children thrive off of routines. So that's part of being, predictable. They feel secure when they know what to expect. So, for example, meal times are really important. Bedtime is really important. Having a routine, it's, you finish dinner, you take a bath, you read a story, you snuggle, and then it's time for bed. Just, believe it or not, kids really thrive off of that. Sometimes, you have wiggle room, but for the most part, having routines is really good. The third one I want to talk about is being attentive. And I think this one not only applies to just with small kids, but along the rest of their life. Being attentive to them is really important. Emotionally, they realize that they can rely on you whenever they need you. This helps when you develop a one-on-one relationship. So just something that you can do later is go on dates, with your children. So I guess a date or an outing, just one-on-one, like a father and a daughter, father and a son. They can have time to, the dog again. Anyway, have time just one-on-one so they feel like they're important, especially if you have multiple kids. Having one-on-one time is like, kids crave it, So go get ice cream, go kick the soccer ball, but have that one-on-one time together. Warmth and touch, be loving with your kids. Another tip that I wanted to throw in there, sometimes even as, when they're little, you can tell them how you're feeling. Like, oh man, I love you. I think you're amazing for this and this and this. Sometimes as they get older and you have teenagers, you don't really know how to share your feelings with them anymore, maybe. I mean, I don't have a teenager. I have a 1-year-old and I still do this. But I just got it from TJ Maxx. I just got a cute little journal. And I actually have this for both my son and my husband. And so every once in a while, I'll just like write them a little letter, in this journal. And I can just tell them what I think of them, or why I love them, or what, something that reminded me of them that day. Or anyway, I feel like sometimes people have a hard time voicing how they're feeling straight to their face. And so I kind of came up with this way where you can write down exactly how you feel. And, I have it on my bookshelf. They can read it whenever they want. Or when my son gets older, he can look back and see how I felt about him and how I continue to feel about him. So all these things kind of build emotional connection, emotional safety, secure attachments, dependability. Very important as a parent, as a, somebody that is there for them. That, research has shown that people that feel like if they have truly somebody there for them do better in life. So as a parent, isn't that what you want? So I hope that these tips kind of were helpful and help you build secure attachments with your kids. Obviously, these attachments are not cookie cutter. There's people can have a little bit of everything, and there's situations and circumstances that are very important, and you might need, it's not just as easy as this is, you don't just fit into categories. So sometimes you might need further therapy and stuff like that. You can't just switch overnight. But hopefully these tips help build a secure attachment with your kids. It's important. And I will see you in my next video.